Good morning and Happy New Year, everybody. First show of the new year. Welcome in on a Monday. You're locked and loaded into 2 full hours of sports after a weekend that did not disappoint. Devin, Dixon, Paulie Ratliff, what's going on? Happy New Year, Paulie.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Oh, my goodness. We had some wild finishes. We had some statement wins. We had the playoffs set in the National Football League. We had some last-second drama in college football in the playoffs. The intensity was there. There was a lot of chaos. You had basketball. You had football. You had hockey. The storylines this year in the world of sports on a Monday, we are overloaded, as I like to say.
Absolutely. I'd agree.
Our brackets are busted.
Yeah.
Our brackets are busted, except for Tara's.
Except for Tara.
Tara's on vacation. She's out all week.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. She'd be rubbing it in.
Yes, she would.
We got your Monday morning sports fix right here from the Finley Hyundai Studios. And Paulie, man, oh man, let's get right into it. We do it we don't do it every day, but we do it a lot of days where we scan the weekend and we pick the very best thing that we saw. We'll get all excited about. We call it the best thing we saw in sports. And, you know, I have so many today, I don't know if I can narrow it down to one, but let's try. Wasn't my golf game at the Coral Canyon Amateur. I shot 80, and then I shot 80 again the next day. Yeah, I didn't embarrass myself, but I certainly didn't win any money. Matt, can't go with that. Can't go with that.
Yeah.
But after I got done golfing on Saturday, I was juiced. I was jazzed up. I went home. We ordered some pizza. My brother came over. We had the whole crew, and the Hawk's Nest was rocking. And to go into San Francisco, a team that's in your division that we've had some battles with, we've had some trash talk episodes, we've had some nail biters. They've kind of owned the NFC West. The Seahawks, you know, in 2005 and 2013, we had Super Bowl runs and sure had our moments with the LOBs and Russell Wilson. But this was a new era. This is a new team. This is Mike McDonald's team. And on a Saturday night, with home field going through Lumen Field, going through Seattle on the line, you're on the road. The place that so happens to be hosting the Super Bowl. And the best thing I saw, I can't overthink this one, man. You don't often get opportunities for your team. And fans, like, just think about your favorite team and how many opportunities they've had to win a national championship, a conference championship, a world championship, or a Super Bowl in this case. And so for us to show out again, that defense for real, I really like the run game. K9 and Charbonnet go for 171 in the score combined. It was a nice way to kickstart the weekend and wrap up. What we get 4-day break. We had 4 days off. So really fun. 13-3. I know you had the full slate yesterday. A lot of people would say, that game was boring. It was not boring whatsoever to me. The interception late when they were driving was kind of the Drake Thomas interception was kind of the clinching dagger there as Seattle wins 14-3. Who had them going 14-3? I mean, look, I had the over. I took the over on the season total as a prop bet at 7.5, and I bought it up to 8.5. That easily hit. So I did like my team this year. Did I think they would go 14-3? Probably not. The NFC and the road to the Super Bowl out of that conference goes through Seattle and the 12s, and rest assured it will be loud. And bye week, all those things, the rest versus rust conversation, we can have that as the NFL playoff matchups are now set after yesterday's slate. And Seattle is going to be right in the middle of it.
That's right.
Right in the middle of it all as a focal point.
Yeah.
I know analytics are saying this or that or percentages that they can win the Super Bowl. I'm just excited. Mission accomplished. Winning the NFC West this year is no small feat with the Rams and the 49ers.
I agree.
Might be one of the best years to win it all time because of how good all those top 3 teams are. I know Arizona's not very good, but everybody else in that conference can get you on a given night, and all 3 of those teams are in the playoffs. And all 3 of those are probably 3 of the top 5 favorite teams in the entire NFL to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
I think Seattle's 1. The Rams are probably number 2. San Francisco's probably the 5th, most likely. So, Seattle Seahawks, best thing I saw from the weekend in sports, hands down. Hands down. And I watched a lot of sports, Paulie.
Yeah.
I watched my Zags. I watched Utah Tech and Abilene Christian.
Yeah,
watched the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
But NFL and my Hawks are still number 1. They're still number 1.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think you'd go stray far away from that, but I'm going to go to the college football for mine. We didn't have a show from really Wednesday through today, so this was the biggest game in my mind of the college football playoff this weekend was Miami upsetting Ohio State. I kind of grew up a Miami fan. The 2001 Hurricanes, one of my favorite college teams ever. They had Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis, Ed Reed, Andre Johnson, Sean Taylor, Jeremy Shockey, Jonathan Vilma. I mean, just so many guys that were foundational pieces of the NFL, Hall of Famers. But Miami really hadn't been back since that time. I mean, it had been a long absence from the relevance and the spotlight for Miami Hurricane football. And for all he's been dragged through the mud all last season, had a tough end of the year for Georgia. That's Carson Beck. He played a great game, an amazing game throwing the football. And this Malachi Toney, the receiver, I mean, they got the pieces. I think that they're going to be able to make a little bit of a run here. I think they're going to be able to go to the college football championship game. I think that they win this coming week against who they got. It's Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss, Miami Ole Miss, and they're a 3.5-point favorite in that game. Miami as the 10 seed. They all of a sudden, they kind of remind me of Ohio State of last year as the 8 seed that kind of creeped up and won the whole thing. Miami's got the talent. They probably got the best offensive line in the country. Cristobal's an offensive line guy. They've been running the ball with Fletcher really well as well. They're running back. A lot of transfers, a lot of moving parts with Miami this year, but they have really impressed me. They're the most impressive team in the college football playoff so far. To be able to beat the defending champs this week, and then to go to Kyle Field in a really raucous, tough place, the home of the original 12th man at Texas A&M, and win in a dogfight in a windy game where you couldn't do much on offense, but they found a way to win. And now, don't look down, but they're in the Final Four of the college football playoff. So Miami Hurricane football, I definitely loved as a kid. They were exciting. They were fun to watch. They were must-see TV with all those stars and Larry Coker as the coach. But now they've reborn once again under Mario Cristobal, and Miami Hurricanes, the best thing I saw from our long time off.
Yeah, they were physical. They were physical. 24-14, they upset number 2 Ohio State. And Miami advanced to the semis to face Ole Miss, which won an incredible back-and-forth All-State Sugar Bowl. 39-34 over number 3 Georgia back last Thursday night.
Yeah, and that's just a team that you can tell they were like a close contender for the best thing, though, because I think everybody, although Tara did call her shot and she picked Ole Miss, but not many people had Ole Miss in that game. I mean, I think everyone thought Georgia, Kirby Smart, their championship pedigree, it's going to shine through. But Ole Miss is just scrappy. They're determined, and they want to prove Lane Kiffin he's wrong for leaving them. You know,
did he motivate that team a little bit? Did he do them a solid in some weird way, shape, or form?
I mean, I don't think, they're
Is he rooting for his guys? I mean, what is Lane Kiffin thinking right now down there in Baton Rouge?
It's interesting. Lane Kiffin on Twitter, he's been trying to, chime in here and there, with emojis and certain little things, but I haven't seen a ton of stuff either way. I mean, obviously he wants to support these guys.
Probably smart to stay out of the way a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
Not be the focal point. You've already been the focal point. And you bolted, and you didn't leave a good impression in Ole Miss faithful. I mean, they got to be mad at Kiffin a little bit, and kind of in your face kind of a moment after they win and get it done. So that's one side of the college football playoff. The other side was a little more lopsided. Oregon, who was just a 2.5-point favorite over Texas Tech, brilliant defensive performance, probably the best. Maybe the best Oregon defensive performance I've ever seen, Paulie.
I would agree.
I mean, did you have them shutting out Tech. I had picked Oregon last year in my college football playoff bracket.
Yeah.
And so I was a little gun shy this year because they let me down last year. And I was a believer in Texas Tech. Defensively, I was worried about their offense in a shootout in Autzen. Well, not in Autzen Stadium. It's a neutral site game, but just against a high-powered Oregon team.
Yeah.
And 23-0. That game, very disappointing for your $29 million Texas Tech roster.
It is. And to say, they were going up against a roster that was pretty close to them, I think, money-wise in Oregon. So this was a really, as far as NIL on the field, this was NIL personified. The Nike factory school versus the oil money. And the Nike money won out because Dante Moore played a good game, and Oregon's defense just was nails to, stopping everything Texas Tech. And Baron Morton, the quarterback of Texas Tech, picked a really bad time to play his worst game of the season. He looked terrible. So, and they've already gone out in the portal. Texas Tech has gone out and gotten Cincinnati quarterback Brendan Sorsby. He committed yesterday, $5 million deal for him to get him to come to Texas Tech because he's the best quarterback left in the portal other than Leavitt, and Leavitt doesn't want to go to Tech, I guess. So they're going to reload.
Sam Leavitt, to me, digressed this year.
He probably did.
He didn't improve. Like, I didn't see better footwork and better pocket presence, and I didn't see a lot of improvement out of Sam. I thought that, he had such a great year, takes him to the college football playoffs at ASU. And then this year was a big step backwards.
Yeah, it was. I would think Leavitt, with the injuries and stuff, he still was the number one quarterback in the entire transfer portal. And the 247 rankings. The Sorsby number 2. So Texas Tech sees they have a problem in quarterback. This Baron Morton kid's got eligibility. He could come back, but they have already in this portal era, Texas Tech's going to be one of the teams like Indiana. Indiana got the TCU kid, Josh Hoover, to be their next quarterback after Mendoza leaves. These top programs are just going to take the best, most ready, most polished transfer portal quarterback, plug them into the team, and that's going to be the new starter. Long gone are the days where you have guys stay 3-4 years waiting their turn to be able to play. Like the Sorsby, he was at Cincinnati this year, and he was pretty good, but Texas Tech is paying him like he's really, really good. Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean,
speaking of Fernando Mendoza, I mean, they got a couple sacks on him early, but after that, it was, short passing game, run game. I mean, completely dismantling Alabama in the Rose Bowl. That was the biggest blowout of the weekend.
And that was an ugly one.
See ya next year, Crimson Tide. Next fall, rather.
And DeBoer, I mean, even in an 11-win season, you lose the opener to Florida State. You have the troubling game against Georgia in the SEC championship. And then you do have the win in the first round of the college football playoff over OU when you were down 17-0. That was a good coaching performance. But I think that a lot of Alabama fans upset with Kalen DeBoer. I mean, I think a lot of them used to the standard of Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Always being in the mix, always being in it to the end. And this year, this was not even a close game. I got to be honest, I'm a big college football fan, but I did not watch this in entirety because it was over in like the second quarter, like late in the second quarter.
Oh, 100%. I don't think a lot of people stayed to the second half there.
No.
But what Kurt Cignetti's Hoosiers have done, they have passed with flying colors every single step of the way. Anybody left doubting this team as they play Oregon again in the Peach Bowl?
They've already beaten Oregon.
I know, 30-20. 30-20. Yep, but this is a new test, a rematch.
Yeah.
Haven't had one of those yet this year.
And if we remember, Ohio State lost to Oregon in the regular season last year. They did on the road in Autzen Stadium, and then they beat them in the college football playoff. So maybe the script is flipped for Oregon. Maybe they're able, with an extra game against Indiana already in their pocket, maybe they do game plan better and have something in store for them. I think Indiana, Tara looks good picking them as her champion because they look the best in the quarterfinals of any team.
Yeah, but this is no easy game. No easy game.
Absolutely
Look,
not.
I mean, Oregon is in great form right now. They didn't have a bye. They got out there and they played, beat JMU, rolled 23-0. So they've won by a combined 40 points in their first 2 games. But here's the thing: both teams are really talented.
Yeah,
they play fast, physical football. Indiana deserves to be favored, and they are. But it should be a heck of a game.
Yeah,
It should be a heck of a game.
it should be.
Looking forward to it.
Low total of that game.
Yeah.
Expecting some good defense from both teams.
The game's coming at you this week. We'll have all week to break them down.
Yeah, Thursday and Friday.
Yep, one on Thursday, one on Friday. College football playoffs. Some heads are falling in the NFL. Breaking news right now, if you haven't heard, the Browns have fired Coach Stefanski after 6 seasons. So Kevin Stefanski, who was, I think, twice named the NFL Coach of the Year,
Yeah.
is out and looking for a job. He'll land somewhere.
Yeah, he will.
I wasn't sure that this Black Monday in the NFL would be full of replacements. We saw Atlanta make a change yesterday, firing their GM and their head coach. He was only there 2 seasons. I thought they won their last 4 games.
Yeah. Who was that? Raheem Morris?
Raheem Moore. Yep.
Morris, I think. Right?
Raheem Morris. Very well liked, but higher expectations, and a lot of people are talking about Matt Ryan coming back to Atlanta.
And Terry Fontenot was the guy who is most famously known for drafting drafting Michael Penix Jr. after they just signed Kirk Cousins to like $120 million deal.
Yeah.
So he got fired as well. So
correct.
That makes sense for Atlanta. They're trying to reboot. They've got a lot of talent, I think. So they need a quarterback, clearly, because I don't know if Penix, he's been hurt multiple times in college, hurt again this year. Do you depend on him as your game one QB1?
He's not as mobile as you'd think and but man, the short and intermediate passing and the deep ball is not the biggest arm strength. It just always looks like he's laboring to throw it, but man, he's good. He's good, and he beat out Kirk Cousins. Maybe they just need. Here's the problem with the NFL. There's not a lot of head coaches out there. Last year, you had some hot names on the market, the Ben Johnsons, which obviously was a home run hire. So I didn't think there would be as many heads falling this year. I thought it'd be more of a coordinator cycle where you had head coaches trying to shake up the offensive, defensive coordinators, just trying to get some new play calling in there to salvage things and get going in the right direction and make some changes that direction. So the fact that we were already down 2 head coaches is a little bit surprising to me. Not shocking, because the Browns were not very good this year. Again, 5-12. It's their second straight last place finish in the AFC North. And man, I mean, 2 seasons after he won his second NFL Coach of the Year award and got a contract extension. From 20 to 2023, Stefanski led the Browns to 2 playoff appearances and had one of their most winning stretches they've had since the 80s. And so, he was 45-56 in regular season games. So he was 11 games under 500, though, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, who will be the 11th Browns coach since 1999? 6 years, he got a run. You can't say he didn't get a run.
Yeah, that's
but
good,
how
good
things
burn.
Change.
Yeah.
Your first 3 years, great. A little bit worse, a little bit. You can kind of compartmentalize coaching into 2-year windows, right? If you're bad your first year and you bounce back, you might get a third year. It's all about what you've done for me lately.
Yeah.
And just because he had 3 great years early as head coach of the Cleveland Browns, I mean, they started 3 different quarterbacks this year. They had Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel and Shadur Sanders, and we never saw Deshaun Watson all season. I mean, that situation for a new coach can't really be thrilling, can it?
I wouldn't assume.
I mean, walking into that quarterback room, you're going, really? Okay, well, let's see. And we saw what happened when Pete Carroll walked to the Raiders. He wanted to shake things up, makes a trade for a guy he knew really well, and Geno Smith, who he coached in Seattle, and that didn't work out for him either. So it's not as easy as you think to get the right quarterback with the right coach in the National Football League.
I would agree with that.
Very difficult.
It's hard.
Yeah. And look, Dylan Gabriel, I mean, he started, I think, 6 games, had a concussion in week 11, and that moved the opportunity to get Sanders, their 5th-round pick, in for the final 7 games. Shadur was underwhelming at times, solid at others. I don't know about you, Paulie, but I don't go, man, Dylan Gabriel, I see so much potential in him. Hey, Shadur Sanders, he's going to be, a 10-time Pro Bowl. I'm not sure right now. It's a small sample size, but there's not a lot to get me overly excited about the quarterback room in Cleveland right now.
I don't know. I think Shadur, I was excited after his first start against the Raiders, but, over time, I think he has 10 picks in less than 7 games, right? 7 touchdowns, 10 picks. Yeah.
Correct.
So yeah, he's completion percentage 56.6. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he's the starter of the future for the Cleveland Browns, but maybe they give him time to develop. But they've got a high pick once again, as the NFL draft order is set, obviously after the last game of the regular season, and the Browns currently hold the 6th overall pick. 6th overall pick. So do they go into the quarterback market once again with that pick?
They can thank Washington for winning yesterday.
Yeah, that's
Washington
right.
moved back down to 7, I believe.
7, yeah.
Why were they winning? What were the Giants and the Commanders doing?
Swing.
Yeah.
After the Giants won and beat the Cowboys, if they would have lost to the Eagles, they would have vaulted into the 5th pick. Instead, they won and dropped to the 7th pick. So pretty stupid. But the Raiders, local team being right down the road in Las Vegas, they hold the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders. So hopefully they can hit on this pick.
Raiders.
It's very important to hit on this one.
Mendoza seems like the obvious choice.
Because they've got, as far as their last couple first-round picks, Brock Bowers, Genty, they've hit on a few of them. So
Genty got over 1,000 yards on the season.
He did.
I'd say that's a good pick.
And Bowers had a
With
great
that offensive
rookie year,
line?
like a rookie record-setting year Bowers had last year. So to say they have some offensive talent is probably an understatement. I think they need a little more receiver, and they definitely need a quarterback and the offensive line. But running back, tight end, some key positions are set, and they got the number 1 pick. So things looking up for the Raiders.
Yeah. So two coaching firings, Stefanski and Morris in Atlanta. They're out. We've also got, like Paulie said, Raiders with the number 1 pick. How about that game last night? And already Aaron Rodgers on the Monday night window next week in the playoffs. I mean, what happened last night? I mean, 26-24 Steelers.
Yeah.
Over the Ravens. 3 touchdowns, 1 missed extra point, and 1 missed field goal, all in the final 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
My wife was watching a movie, and I kept sneaking into the bedroom, kept getting, I'd pop it on my phone, and then finally I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting good. About the 7-minute mark, I straight up bailed on the movie, Paulie, and I went right to the television set to watch the finish. That was a wild one last night.
Yeah, it was. It was a compelling game. And you thought when they got down there with that likely catch that it was going to be curtains for Mike Tomlin and his playoff streak. But
Rodgers, his receivers did not have a lot of separation last night without DK Metcalf. But I'll tell you what, there was that ball over the middle to Thielen, the double move to Freiermuth, just the reads to find open guys. There was some breakdowns. Once Kyle Hamilton left the game with an injury, Baltimore's secondary, you notice, kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that important to that secondary against the team like the Steelers, which is not known for their vertical passing game without DK Metcalf available. But congrats to the AFC North champ Steelers.
Yeah, the Warren Sharp had a good tweet about Hamilton. Steelers offense with Kyle Hamilton on the field, 3.9 yards per play, 37% success rate on 38 plays. Steelers offense after Hamilton was injured, 1 minute into the third quarter, 6.9 yards per play with a 60% success rate. So
Incredible.
a huge turn of events once he left the field.
Incredible. Man, what a fun one to wrap up. 262 regular season games, and we're off to the playoffs. Congrats to the Panthers. That was the other big thing that happened yesterday, was the Panthers get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
kind of back their way.
Well, they better send some thank you cards to the Falcons with their win over the Saints. So Carolina loses to Tampa Bay on Saturday, but because Atlanta beat New Orleans, they still get in due to the tiebreak. Everybody in that division ended up 3-3.
Huh.
Can you believe that?
Wow.
Everybody in that division was 12 games played. Everybody 3-3. Woo. Well, I mean, not top end parity, but there's still parity in that division. Bills Jags looks. We're gonna go through all the games, but if you need to start thinking about some of the matchups, Bills at Jags Sunday 11 a.m. Niners Eagles Sunday 2:30. Those two games look juicy in the NFC and AFC on Sunday.
Yeah, they do. Should be good matchups. The NFL playoffs, I think, will deliver this year because of there is no clear-cut favorite, I don't think. I mean, realistically, when you look at it, it doesn't matter the seeding, but the eye test of teams, I don't think there is that one boogeyman that looms over the entire playoff field like the Chiefs have been or the Eagles have been for the last couple years.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, we're off and running. Got to get to a break. Glad you're with us here on the drive on a Monday. Quick time out after a message from our great local partners. We'll be right back. Yeah, big deal, no big deal. Brought to you by our good friends at Game Day Men's Health. Boy, oh boy, they've got a cool special for you to kick off the new year. Paulie, do you like specials?
I do.
How much do you like specials?
I'm a big fan. I'd say specials are a big part of what I try and take advantage of.
Well, they want to say thank you for a great year. Their first full year serving Southern Utah last year, 2025. So they're giving back. It's a small token, but January they're giving away free body composition scans to everyone. It's a $35 value. There's no strings attached. Just Game Day Men's Health's way of kicking off the new year, helping you get informed, motivated, focused on your health. So you want to see your body fat percentage, how much muscle mass, et cetera, and start the year strong. Just walk into Game Day Men's Health in St. George. It's over on Four Master Drive in the Coral Desert Medical Center on the second floor, and you'll find them, and you can get your free body composition scan. Let's do it. Paulie's got a couple. I got a couple. I'll throw it, Paulie. Big deal, no big deal. We only do it on a Monday. It's time.
All right, let's get going here. As Utah Tech gets their first win in Abilene, Texas, starts off WAC play at 2-0 after the huge win over Abilene Christian this weekend.
56% in Texas, they shoot the rock out of it. Shoot 44% from distance, Paulie.
Yeah.
They were 5.5-point favorites right at tip-off in that game.
Underdogs, I think you mean.
5.5-point underdogs, correct.
Yeah.
So they win by 15, 79-64. This is a big deal. You are the only team already undefeated in WAC play.
Yeah.
The only team.
That's right. And
they're 2-0. Everybody else has got a loss already.
And the only to play devil's advocate a little bit here is Utah Tech the last 3 years has started off 2-0 in WAC play, and the season's kind of gone off.
But not against Abilene Christian.
Not against Abilene Christian. Road. That's right.
They've never beaten them.
This is a big win.
So it's a big deal. When you defeat the Wildcats for the first time in program history, and you go 2-0 in WAC, yes, there's a lot of games to be played. Yes, you got to play them 3 times. But they went on a 22-0. In fact, you texted me that they were on a 22-0 run in the first half there.
Yeah.
And that was a good reminder for me to pop it on and tune in. And season high for Chance Trujillo. He has 19.
Yeah,
and he only had 3 in the game prior.
Yeah, he was the player of the game that they named. Coach Judkins and Rod after the game both came to a consensus that Chance was the guy. And he made some big shots whenever Abilene was kind of creeping back in a little bit. He would knock down yet another 3. So big coming out party type game for Chance. I know he's had some notable games throughout this year, but that was kind of his statement game, for this season thus far. So really good win, and it is a big deal that they're off to a 2-0 start. And maybe, just maybe, no Grand Canyon, no real superpower in the WAC this year. UVU's good, but I think that they're beatable. So
and Madiba Awana got shook it up in this game and only played 5 minutes. That's the other variable here we should talk about. It's worth mentioning. Arguably one of your most athletic defenders and great scorers is not able to play only 5 minutes, and you still win by 15. I mean, Tanner Davis, Britton Barrett stepped up, had 26 combined off the bench in that game.
Yeah, it was just a really good collective effort. And the athleticism of Abilene was pretty evident. Like, they had some long, rangy players that could make athletic plays, but the defense frustrated them. Pretty much the man defense that Utah Tech threw at them, they went to zone a couple times, but, I mean, they really just played really disciplined. The switching was really good. The rebounding was great. So I got high hopes. I mean, I thought that, a guy like Marvell Allen would be the supercharger of this team. We may not see him this year now. But this team is good enough with the components that it has to be competitive in the WAC this year and maybe make a WAC tournament run. So I think this is a big deal and something that fans around St. George should be excited about.
Yeah, good win for the Blazers. They got Cal Baptist on the road on Thursday. That'll be the next game, and we'll have it for you this Thursday right here on the Fan Sports Network. All right, moving on.
All right, how about this one? Wednesday, can't it comes soon enough. As Region 9 play ramps up after the holiday break this coming Wednesday, a lot of games this week that we'll have for you Wednesday and Friday, I believe, correct? I was looking at the schedule when I came in this morning, the calendar on the wall. There's a lot of games on those 2 days.
Yes.
So I'm assuming we'll be on those. And, yeah, it's been kind of a crazy start to the region. We haven't gotten a ton of sample of Region 9 games on Region 9, but now we're really getting into the heart of this. It's after the holidays. This is where the high school basketball really reaches its climax.
Yeah, and look, I mean, after Crimson had a couple more big wins, 9-4, they have popped now to number 1 for the first time this season in the Des News top 5 rankings of 4A. So in the 4A classification, they're ahead of Provo, who's 12-3, Ridgeline, who's 7-5, Pineview, who's 9-4, and then East is number 5 right now. So you have Crimson at 1 and Pineview at 4. There's a lot of parity in Region 9, and I think Region 9, I've talked to a couple coaches. I bumped into a couple coaches during the break, and you know, they're satisfied but not happy with the way the preseason went. That's always a coach, right? Like, yeah we'll take it, but
unless you go undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Pineview, for instance. They lost to one of the weaker teams in the state the other day in their last tournament game after Christmas. Now, it's preseason. Coach Pat Amico get them refocused. You know, some teams will play good tournaments, higher competition. I think that's why you see Crimson at 9-4, they played a really tough schedule this year, and they've got 9 wins. That's why I think you see them number 1. Of course, the RPI has been tweaked a little bit. It's now the max preps numbers, feeding the seeding for state. So, yeah, a lot of excitement for me and you, Paulie, heading into the new year with Region 9 boys and girls basketball, because don't look now, but that girls basketball race is going to be exciting too. What Dixie has done right now has been fun to see under Casey Winters. And obviously, they're up to number 8 in the entire state in all classifications and number 1 in 4A. Snow Canyon's still 9-3, but Dixie hasn't lost, Paulie. They are 12-0. They are clicking on all cylinders right now. What a job Casey Winters is doing over there for the Lady Flyers.
That's right. Doing an incredible job, and I expect them to be in the thick of the 4A state tournament for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next one here as Bobby Wagner, one of your guys, former Utah State Aggie, Seahawk, Ram, and now Commander, joins the 2000 Tackle Club, joining London Fletcher and Ray Lewis as the only members of that illustrious group. 2,000 tackles for the soon-to-be Hall of Famer Bobby Wagner. Big deal, no big deal.
I remember when he got drafted by the Seattle Seahawks out of Utah State. And I remember Dave Mahler, Softy, up there on KJR 950 in Seattle, called, and I don't know why he called me. He probably saw I was an ESPN affiliate in Utah and wanted me to come on and talk about Bobby. And so I went back in time and looked into Bobby's upbringing, because I watched him at Utah State, but until he got drafted as Seahawk, that took it to another level. Now I really want to know what Bobby Wagner is all about. And the story about him and his sister, how he raised her, and how she had special needs, and just for what he has accomplished in the National Football League. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. Couldn't be happier. I wish he would have played his entire career a Seahawk. But I understand the business side of it, and I still love me some Bobby Wagner. He's one of the league's all-time great tacklers. There's no discounting that. Is he the best? It's debatable. We're not going to get into that right now. But when you say 2,000 tackles, think about the wear and tear on your body. Not all those are going against Derrick Henry. I understand that. But at the same time, that's a lot of hits. That's a lot of contact. And Bobby's still doing it at his age. What do you have, 5 tackles against Philadelphia to get over the 2,000 threshold?
83, or it looks like 83 on the season.
He's
4.5
slowing
sacks,
down.
2 interceptions, so still a good year for him.
If he plays one more year, he needs 59 tackles to pass Ray Lewis as the all-time leader in tackles.
And a lot of people know Ray, of course. He was flashier, did the dances. He was a great, great player, of course. But Bobby Wagner, I think, flies under the radar a little bit because he's soft-spoken. He's not a rah-rah guy per se. But 2,000 tackles is 2,000 tackles.
The consistency, the health, the durability, the commitment to his body in the game. Man, he's a veteran, and he is so talented. Couldn't be more happy for making history there, Bobby Wagner. Congratulations. That's a big deal. That's no question in my mind. That's a big deal.
All right. Let's go to the next one here, as this was another game we haven't really talked about much from the college football playoff, but Pete Golding and the Ole Miss Rebels defeat Georgia in an absolute thriller, 39-34, where Ole Miss had some late heroics. Trinidad Chambliss, who I just saw on Twitter is applying for a 6th year of eligibility, led this team down the field to take the lead. And Ole Miss defeats a team with a ton of championship pedigree and a great coach in Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, big deal. A huge upset on a big stage. When you get a huge upset, you were 6.5, 7-point underdogs when it went to kickoff, and you scored 39 on that defense.
Yeah, that went way over. I think the total was like 54.
I mean, big win, big upset, big stage. 47-yard field goal with 6 seconds left kind of sealed it there. It moves Ole Miss into the college football semifinals when we'll face Miami, putting them one win away from the national championship game without Lane Kiffin, who walked out to Baton Rouge to take the job at LSU. Drama, atmosphere, the narrative, the impact on the field. Like, there's some people out there that maybe don't have a dog left in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, it's got to be. If you're one of those people,
you kind of got to be like looking at this Ole Miss team, kind of going, why not them?
Yeah.
Why not them?
There's two party crashers. It's Miami and Ole Miss, and it's unfortunate that they have to play each other. But, it's one of the better stories all year long is both of those teams finding ways. And I think the Ole Miss story is better because they had the coach turmoil, Lane leaving, taking assistants, and they're still able to keep winning. So that's a big deal.
They knocked out my bracket's busted. I had Georgia winning it all. I did not think they would beat Georgia.
Yeah.
So I could go nowhere else but big deal on this one. This is a major result. It's not just a regular season win. It's not just any win. That is a win over Georgia. Kirby Smart. Come on. Like, big picture, this is so much momentum for Ole Miss. They might be okay. They're going to survive this Lane Kiffin thing, Paulie. They're going to be just fine. The march beats on, and I'm rooting for Ole Miss. I'm rooting for Ole Miss.
And what about Pete Golding? I mean, this is a guy that he's the DC at Ole Miss. He's doing a great job all year long, and he gets bumped up when Lane Kiffin moves on. And not only does he coach this team to 2 playoff wins already with a chance at the national championship. So I think Golding has earned himself probably a contract extension before he's even been named the full-time head coach. Well, I guess he has been named the full-time head coach, but
I don't think I knew much about him until he was the D coordinator with Saban when he was at Alabama. Mm-hmm. And he helped them win the national championship. I think it was 2020. And then he was there till 2022, and then he moved over to Ole Miss in 2023. But he has quickly transformed this Rebels defense into one of the stronger units in the mighty SEC.
Yeah.
And so, he's now their head coach, 40th head coach in program history, and this is a huge moment for him. Obviously, the biggest win of his career comes early on in his head coaching career.
Yeah.
And he's got another big game this week, another huge game this week. What's the line on that game, that Ole Miss-Miami game?
Miami by 3.5.
By 3 and a hook.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the Rebels.
Yeah. Can't anymore. They've woken me up for sure. That's going to be one of my favorite games all year to watch, those two teams going at it.
All right, I got one for you.
All right.
Big deal or no big deal, we might have saw some guys that we've watched for a long time play their last regular season game. Travis Kelce, maybe Aaron Rodgers. I know Aaron's got a postseason game this Monday night.
Yeah.
Are you like me, Paul? Do you have trouble? Is it a big deal or no big deal when guys step off the field and have to contemplate the retirement? That seems like a dreaded conversation to have sometimes.
Yeah. I think it's no big deal, really. I mean, I think that unless you're the fan of that team. Like if I was a Chiefs fan or a Rodgers fan or a Steelers fan, it would be more impactful to me. But retirement's kind of come and go. I mean, a lot of guys, a lot of great players retire every year. So I don't really get caught up in them.
Yeah, until they actually
retires,
make it a confirmed thing. And we've seen guys come out of retirement plenty often, too.
Absolutely.
Chris Jones said he's not convinced this is the end for Kelsey. He said, I've got faith my dog is coming back.
Yeah, and he might.
But Kelsey did say he's going to take some time with friends and family before deciding what to do.
And that's fine. I think they owe him that.
Melissa Stark was interviewing Aaron Rodgers at the end of the game last night. And I don't know if you caught the post-game interview with Rodgers, but
she asked him, I think.
She asked him, like, is this where you're going to ride off into the sunset? And at first, with the emotion and the win, and you kind of thought it was a timely question, and he was going to say, yeah, this is probably it. And then he backtracked, circled back. Well, it's just a long season. You go through a lot. I'm just so thrilled to be. And so for Rodgers, he certainly wasn't going to announce it in the post game.
Yeah.
Leading into a playoff wildcard weekend game next Monday night. But I got the sense that this could be it for Rodgers now that at least he made it to the postseason for one more run at a Super Bowl. It's been a long time since we've seen Aaron Rodgers play a playoff football game.
That's right. It's been a minute. So good for him.
Yep. Big deal, no big deal. The Browns this morning fire Kevin Stefanski after 6 seasons, Paulie.
No big deal. I think that they've tried it with Baker. They've tried it with Shadur, with Dylan Gabriel. Stefanski's been there for a while now. He's had a lot of different quarterbacks, a lot of different players to evaluate and to plug in. So,
but is it his fault, the Deshaun Watson trade? Is that his fault? We don't know how much part of it
probably not his fault, but he probably had some say in it. But the GM ultimately gets the black mark for
because that trade in 2020, he was good in 2020. He was good in 2021. He was good in 2022. He was coach of the year, in fact, in 20 and 23. But Deshaun Watson has been an unbelievably bad trade for the Cleveland Browns.
That's right.
I mean, all that guaranteed money.
Probably the worst contract of all time in football. So. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, when you have that dead weight on your cap, it's really hard to navigate out of it. But I think he was kind of just set up for this fall, and it had been 6 years, so they figured he's probably close to being re-upped one way or the other. So they probably thought, all right, let's just get out in front of this and let's move on. So,
final one for you, Paulie. Ready?
Okay.
Big deal or no big deal in your mind that the top 3 seeded teams in the AFC's quarterbacks have played in a combined 3 playoff games?
Yeah, that is somewhat of a big deal because I think playoff experience matters. How you've played in the playoffs previously matters. Your sample size, what you put out there. So, yeah, I think that does matter in the playoffs. I think that a guy like Josh Allen, who's a lower-seeded team with the Bills this year, the 6th seed or whatever, I think they could make a run.
This feels like an opportunity Josh Allen needs to take advantage of. With no Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. Look, Drake May has 0 playoff starts.
Yeah.
Bo Nix has 1. And Trevor Lawrence has 2. Those are your top 3 AFC-seeded quarterbacks. It's a fair question.
And I think if I'm Josh Allen, I'm not worried about any of those, but I think the Bills' defense just leaves a little to be desired. I mean, I think that the Bills' defense will be their Achilles heel. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl this year, but I think Josh Allen, if he wants, for his legacy, this is his best opportunity.
Good stuff. Got to get to a break. That's Big Deal, No Big Deal. On the Drive on a Monday, only on a Monday. We're back in a flash. Hey, we're back. Just a couple minutes rounding out hour one, heading into hour two. Devin Dixon, Paulie Ratliff on your Monday Fun Day morning, January the 5th. Here we go. Good to be back in the saddle. We're in all week long. We got big high school games this week. We've got a doubleheader on Wednesday and more games on Friday. This Thursday, how about we've got a big one with Utah Tech at Cal Baptist. That'll be a fun one, Paulie. So a lot of good stuff happening this week. And then, of course, we've got more NBA, more college basketball, more NHL. And, of course, the NFL playoffs will be front and center. We're going to dive into more of the matchups in the second hour of the show. Also want to do a little state of the state. Check in on BYU, Utah State, Utah Tech, SUU, all our in-state college basketball teams. Second hour as well. I don't know what we're going to do with the bracket. Now that you and I's bracket are shredded. I guess we're just repicking the semifinals.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for us.
Yeah.
Tara.
Tara is still alive. She has Indiana winning it all.
Yeah, she does.
I had Georgia. They lose to Ole Miss 39-34. You had Tech getting shut out 23-20 to Oregon. Yeah. And both our brackets are busted, as they say. Hopefully that doesn't happen in March Madness. Hey, we're just a couple months away from March Madness, baby.
That's right.
Woo!
Let's
go. Tonight is the FCS Championship in Nashville. Illinois State and Montana State. Will you watch, Paulie?
Yeah, I should watch.
Okay. No Monday night football game.
Yeah, no Monday night.
Not till next Monday.
Yeah, playoff Monday night.
Rogers will be on next Monday night, but that'll be tonight. I think it's a 5:30 kickoff for Mountain Time.
Yeah,
out in Nashville. Montana State is the favorite over Illinois State in the FCS Championship.
State, they've made a run.
Yeah, they really have. So that'll be fun. Something to watch for tonight. Mammoth are back on the ice, wrapping up a road trip. Nice played yesterday. Lost again in overtime to the Blackhawks. They can't find a way to win a game right now.
Yeah.
Hour one of the books. Hour two coming up when we come back as The Drive. Yeah, we are back. Hour 2. Let's go on January the 5th. Ha ha. Can you believe it, Paulie?
Yeah, we're on to the next year.
How about it? How about it? Hopefully everybody had a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Did you have a Merrier Christmas or a Happier New Year, Paulie?
Probably a Merrier Christmas, I would say.
You were home for Christmas.
Yeah, it was.
What did you do for New Year's? Did you count down the East Coast time at 10 p.m. and crash?
I don't even think I did the East Coast. Well, maybe I did. I didn't really. I was awake at that time, but I wasn't watching. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Playoffs are set. The Seahawks are the favorite to win the Super Bowl, Paulie. Should I be worried or excited that my Seattle Seahawks are the favorites to win it all? Because they are right now the latest plus 350. Plus 350. Rams are plus 450. Those are your two favorites.
Yeah.
Broncos plus 650 to win it all.
Yeah.
Should I be worried?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
I'd rather be flying under the radar a little bit, but that when you win 7 straight and you're the number 1 seed in a tough division like the NFC West,
yeah,
the Super Bowl does go through Seattle. They don't have to leave the West Coast. If they win a couple home games, they'll go to Santa Clara, where the Super Bowl is being hosted this year.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting paradigm for the Seahawks, a team that missed the playoffs and all last year. Now they're the number 1 seed. They're the favorite. They're kind of the one everyone's got a target on their back. So I'm interested to see how they come out and play in this after the bye week, because will there be the rust versus rest thing, all that stuff. 1 seed, I think, is a little bit of high, lofty expectations. When you get the 1 seed, you have the whole playoffs through Seattle. There'll be a lot of pressure on one guy who hasn't played well in the playoffs or winner take all games is Sam Darnold. A lot of pressure on him.
But this is a new Sam Darnold. This is a new team, his first season. I can combat that with a lot of justifications.
Okay.
I mean, here's the question I have for you, Paulie. Who is a better number 1 seed? The NFC Seattle Seahawks or the AFC's Denver Broncos? Because I think it's the Seahawks, and I'm a homer and an apologist for Seattle.
I would say it's the Seahawks. I think the Broncos have skated by in a lot of games. Yeah, I mean, the same thing with the quarterbacks. Bo Nix hasn't proven anything in the playoffs.
The Broncos have their flaws.
Yeah, they got their flaws.
Like, there's no team in the playoffs that you can't find a flaw. Everybody's got a flaw.
That's right.
But you've got a shot. And a lot of people think this is a great year to be a wild card team because you get out there, you play. If you win a game, you got a chance.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun. The Seahawks are in a prime pole position to win it all in Mike McDonald's just 2nd season as head coach, Paulie. And I'm not sure we know much more than that. I mean, the Seahawks handled the Niners 13-3 back on Saturday night. It felt like 24-3. It felt like 27-3. Seattle missed 2 field goals, turned the ball over on downs.
Yeah.
After blowing a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line on the opening drive. And that's the one flaw. The Seahawks can beat themselves. And I think that's what you're referring to with the turnovers or the missed opportunities. And a lot of that is pinned on Sammy D.
Yeah, but at the same token, Darnold's the first quarterback to win 14 games 2 years in a row. So regular season, obviously, he's a guy that can get games won for you. But in winner-take-all, 1-game elimination, do you trust Sam Darnold?
Yes.
You do because you're a Seahawks fan. But I would ask our listeners, just the wide audience that we have or whatever.
I think we pay too much attention to track records and past performances.
Okay.
And I think we get caught up in that. And I think there is something to be talked about there. I'm not saying we ignore it and it doesn't matter, but I think it gets overhyped and overblown. This is a new team. This is a new receiving core. This is a new coaching staff around Sam Darnold. This is not the same as it was in L.A., in Minnesota, in New York. I mean, he's bounced around a few spots. Carolina he's been with 4 teams prior to this. 4 teams.
Yes.
You have some life lessons. You learn some things. And man, oh man, here's the thing about Seattle. They feel beatable, right? Because they turn the ball over so much. But then you look at the facts. They're the number 1 seed with all those turnovers. What if they don't turn the ball over?
Yeah.
How much harder are they to handle or to beat? The NFC playoff odds right now, the Seahawks are 48.3% to win the NFC, and they're a staggering 24.1% to win the Super Bowl.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, if I were to take a team out
Who
of
would
the
have guessed that before the season started?
Nobody. So, Darnold's proved that he can win regular season games, but is he a guy that can win in the playoffs? That's my question. He hasn't done it yet. So, yes, that's a track record thing, and you just said you don't like the track record talk, but, at some point we got to go on what the guy's done before, and what he's done before is flopped in big games. So, just because they're the 1 seed, you still got the same guy quarterbacking you that won 14 games a year ago for the Vikings and lost in the first round of the Rams. So that's the thing. In a big game, will he exceed or live up to expectations? There's one guy whose level of play rises when they get to the playoffs. Hasn't been good in the regular season this year, and I'm not going to defend him in the regular season. But right now, the Rams are the second in the NFC, but all the way down at plus 950 are the Eagles. And I'm just saying that the Eagles, they get the home game against San Francisco in Philly. If they win that, I think the Eagles they could rise up. They're a team that has been there, done that, and that's a track record thing I'm going on there.
Yeah.
But still, I think the Eagles have the players. Their roster is very complete.
Especially
their
defensively.
defense is very good, and their offense
Can be potent.
It can be potent. It can be. And it's a 1-game playoff. So in one day in Seattle, if it's raining, it's wet, whatever, that's what they love. They want to run the football. They want to muck it up. So, I would think the Eagles have a good shot to come out of the NFC once again. That would be my guess right now. They're kind of my hot dark horse type pick. 950, plus 950 to win the Super Bowl.
You look at the NFC matchups, Packers and Bears, Green Bay. Last one, December 7th against Chicago when Caleb Williams was intercepted on 4th and 1 from the Packers 14 with 27 seconds remaining in that game. I think that's the game where they lost Micah Parsons as well, or maybe it was a week later. They haven't had Jordan Love since Chicago concussed him in Week 16. Bears have lost 3 of their final 5 games. They were really good outside of the division, Paul. They were 9-2, but inside the division, they were 2-4 after getting swept by Detroit. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is.
That's crazy. That's going to be a fun one. Niners, Eagles, like you mentioned. Philadelphia entered the playoffs, I think last season, ranked 7th in offensive EPA per play.
What are they now?
And they were second on the defensive side. They're 19th on offense and 9th on defense.
Okay.
So they're not as good statistically speaking on either side of the ball than they were in their Super Bowl run last year.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm saying they could
I feel like
rise
there's
up, though.
they could, but I feel like there's less dysfunction going on in San Francisco. I feel like with A.J. Brown, with Jalen Hurts, with Saquon Barkley, like there's a lot of mouths to feed, and I feel like nobody's really happy in Philadelphia. I don't know if the fan base is wearing off on the players or what is going on, if the cheesesteaks aren't tasting as good lately for Eagles players. But there seems to be a belief that San Francisco has under Shanahan, and I don't know that they have that in Philadelphia. They should have more swagger than anybody. They're the defending Super Bowl champions.
They are.
And yet I feel like there's some dysfunction throughout the season. It's been a roller coaster for the Eagles.
But now this is where you block out the noise, and it's just time to elevate your game. And I think they've got guys that have done that. They've got players that have stepped up in big spots before. So I think the Eagles can make a run. For sure. And I'm not an Eagles fan by any means. I root for a team in their division, hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
But I really do objectively think that they could be a team in the NFC.
What about the other game, Rams at Panthers? Carolina beat the Rams 31-28 back in Week 13.
Yeah. The books don't think this will be close at all. It's like a 9.5, 10-point spread, 10.5 now, the current number on DraftKings, favoring the Rams, minus 575 on the money line to win the game.
Yeah.
So, almost 6-1 to beat the Panthers on the road.
And they always say tough to beat a team twice.
Yeah. I mean.
The ceiling is high for the Rams. But they finished the season 4-5.
Really soft landing spot in the first round for them, to get Carolina.
Yeah, an 8-9 team.
Yeah, that's backed their way in. I mean, I know that they've been a lot better this year, but this is the one of the whole matchups of the first round that you just look at and you say, I don't really see a chance for Carolina. But Green Bay, Chicago, Buffalo, Jacksonville, San Francisco, Philly, Chargers, New England, Pittsburgh, Houston, all those games less than 4-point numbers on the spreads.
Yeah, the AFC side looks different.
Yeah.
The top 2 seeds, Denver and New England, Broncos 33% chance by the analytics to win the AFC. New England 18.3%. Broncos 16.6% to win the Super Bowl. Patriots 9.2% to win the Super Bowl. So that's a big comparison to Seattle was 24% to win the Super Bowl. And the same one seed in the AFC, a lot less, 16%.
Huh.
So
interesting.
Yeah, that's the analytics. There's analytics for everything. Chargers, Patriots. It's, this is a patched together offensive line since Joe Alt got hurt and lost for the season. They won 7 of 8 from late October to Christmas, though. But New England has been doing it all year. Vrabel has been their experienced coach, and Drake May is an MVP quarterback. And New England's easy schedule is one caveat that I have used. They only own 1 victory over a team that finished with a winning record. That was their win over Buffalo. They split with the Bills.
Yep.
And the Chargers have a lot of close victories over winning teams. They have 5 of those.
Yeah, the Chargers are a team I think that can potentially upset the Patriots. If Herbert's, he didn't play.
They rested him.
They rested him, and he's dealing with some injuries. But if he's healthy enough for even 85 to 90%, they're going off at plus 165. Pretty good value for the Chargers in a team in the Patriots that has not been there and has not done that since Tom Brady and Bill Belichick left.
Yeah.
So do you trust Herbert, who a lot of people say, he's a stats guy, he pads his numbers, all this stuff. And I've always thought he's pretty good, and I think he can upset the Patriots.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. He plays with so much moxie. I love the word moxie when it comes to quarterbacks. Like gritty. Like he'll run if he needs to run. He'll make tough throws. He'll play hurt. Like I've always enjoyed Justin Herbert. Bills at Jaguars. Just going through some of the NFL matchups here, kicking off hour 2 now that the playoffs are set in the National Football League. Here inside the Finley Hyundai Studios, Devin, Dixon, Paulie Ratliff. Bills, Jaguars.
Yeah.
By far, to me, Paulie, this is the most fascinating game in the first round.
Ooh, I can't say that, but I think it's the most fascinating in the AFC.
Okay, fair enough.
That Eagles-Niners is good.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad game, but for some reason, Trevor Lawrence versus Josh Allen has got me more excited than Brock Purdy versus Jalen Hurts. I don't know if it's the quarterback comparison. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Jacksonville, Liam Cohen, the only team to rank in the NFL's top 6 in EPA per play on both sides of the ball since week 11. They went 8-0 the last 8 weeks.
Wow.
But Buffalo is 4th and 11th over that span as well. But we know Josh Allen can win any game.
Yeah, he can.
So this is my reward for winning the division. I got to play Josh Allen and the Bills? Really? That's kind of a bad matchup for Jacksonville, if you ask me. Because I think this is it for Josh Allen. This is the year he's got to break through.
Yeah.
A lot of people would agree. Like, what's stopping Josh Allen from making a run? And I don't think Bills fans should be scared of this Jacksonville matchup.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, the Jags...
Although the Bills defense, I have said all year long, I don't trust them. And if T-Law goes and puts up 28 plus, Josh Allen, and he getting a shootout, that could be very fascinating. That's why I'm picking this game as kind of a fascinating matchup.
I like this as a fascinating matchup for sure, but the Jags, do you believe in them in a big game? They've never really proven to be, and again, new coach, new era with Liam Cohen, but are they a team that you can take seriously against probably one of the best quarterbacks in the sport in Josh Allen, albeit it's a team game? But, if someone's got to put their cape on late in the game, don't you think it'll be Allen more than Lawrence, I would assume?
That would be the assumption, but I'm intrigued by this Jacksonville team. I mean, Parker Washington had himself a year.
He did. Penn State
This kid is a rising star wide receiver. I mean, Brian Thomas didn't even sniff the season that Washington had. Like every time I watched Red Zone or turned a Jacksonville game on or watched him on the 4-box, he was making plays. That kid just popped to me all season long. I don't even know what his stats, but it felt like he had a 1,000-yard season.
Yeah, he was good.
I mean, I felt like he was the dude at wide receiver, and this is all without Travis Hunter and
Brian Thomas didn't have a great year.
Didn't really
either.
do a lot. No.
Yeah, but all in the meanwhile, they've won 8 in a row, and I wasn't aware of that, but they've won 8 in a row. The Jaguars.
That's why this game to me is so interesting.
Included in those wins was a win at Denver, 34-20, that blowout win they had on the road. So, and the Chargers, 2 playoff teams beaten in that 8-game win streak for the Jags.
Jacksonville is playing with a lot of confidence. Buffalo kind of feels like that boxer that's been knocked out a couple times but gets back in the ring because he's so good, and you just never know when he could get the belt back.
Yeah.
I don't know if Buffalo can take it all. I don't know. What did you say the line in this was?
This is a 1 and a hook here.
So it's a tight line. It's virtually a pick 'em.
Yep.
Virtually a pick 'em. Texans Steelers. Do you think that last night in the Sunday night game, the Texans and their fan base was rooting for the Ravens or the Steelers? I'm going to guess they were rooting for old man Rodgers and the Steelers. They didn't want to see Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I think defensively, DeMeco Ryans got a lot easier job scheming how to slow down Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell and DK Metcalf over Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I would agree.
Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, Derrick Henry, so tough to tackle. I think secretly Texan fans have to be ecstatic they get the Steelers.
I think they get they're ecstatic because they get the Steelers because this has been a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 9 years. 2017 was the last win for the Steelers in the playoffs.
Feels like it's been forever.
It's been a long time. So I think that the Steelers will do their classic bit that they do the last 9 postseasons is they make it, they play a good team in the first round and lose. I mean, they're going to be at home in this game in Pittsburgh, but Houston's defense has been tenacious this year. I just don't see how Rodgers, who just put up 6 points against the Browns 2 weeks ago.
They're a speedy defense. That's why I think bulk-wise they would have had trouble stopping Derrick Henry, but speed-wise, old man Rodgers, I think it's a way better matchup for Houston. I think Houston's going to win this game.
Yeah, I think Houston's going to win this game,
I know
too.
the NFL putting this in Monday night is setting Rodgers up here to be, one last run, and they're putting prime time on a Monday. It's the only NFL playoff game on a Monday night this week.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't either. I think the Texans are playing too good right now for the Steelers, even though they're at home. And it's been kind of a storybook season for Rodgers. They've clinched the division on the last game of the season, but I just don't see it. I'm on the Texans in that one.
Yeah. So those are the matchups. Should be fun. Off and running to the playoffs we go. We'll talk more about it later in the week. Before the weekend, we will give you our Super Bowl predictions. Sure to go wrong from Paulie. Sure to go wrong. Just like his college football playoff predictions.
That's right. Playoff predictions weren't good.
Neither were mine, buddy. I'm right in the same boat with you. We're paddling.
Yeah,
the motor broke down.
That's
we are
right.
paddling. I don't even know if I have a team left. Do I even have a team left?
I don't know.
Gracious.
Indiana, maybe.
Yeah,
I think I've still got Indiana.
I had Indiana losing to Tech in the semis.
Yeah, so did I.
So I guess I can enjoy that till Friday.
You can.
Yeah.
You got a team remaining.
All right. We'll take a break. Want to come back. Let's talk some college basketball for just a few minutes. Conference play got underway. We touched on Utah Tech a little bit, but let's touch them all. Let's check in on BYU and their Big 12 opener and some other schools in the state. We'll run it down for you when we come back. It's The Drive Show today, brought to you by our friends at Prime IV. Hey, holidays got you feeling a little tired. You're like, whoa, took a trip, got a little jet lag. Prime IV standing by to help. Start off the new year with your health in mind and go get down there and get a NAD Plus infusion, one that will help you lose weight. That's a big one. The skinny, that's a big one this year. At PrimeIVSTG.com, you can check it all out. We got to take the break. We're back in a flash on The Drive. Good morning, sports fans. Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is The Drive. Hope you're doing good on your Monday, January 5th. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you so much for locking us in, loading us up. Devin, Dixon, Polly Ratliff, TA on vacation. She'll be back with us next week. She's gone all week.
Yeah, all week.
Cruising. Yeah, I wonder who blew that secret surprise Santa got.
That's right. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't me until
was-
Andy threw me under the bus. So
Wow.
she
you
sold
let
me
it
out.
slip, though.
Yeah, I did let it
You
slip.
let it slip.
But then she had to sell me down the
That's
road.
right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Not your fault at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'm deflecting blame, but it's kind of my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. You owned it. You owned it.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Let's check in on the in-state college basketball, shall we, Paulie?
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow, what a fun season. You know, we had the SUU Utah Tech game between Christmas and New Year's. Tech ended up winning that one. Little better fight from SUU over the weekend. Their first home game, but couldn't get the job done. And so Tech going to Abilene starts the season 2-0 in conference play. SUU is 0-2. And for the Utah Tech, their next game will be Cal Baptist on Thursday on the road. That'll be a big test for Coach Judkins and the Trailblazers. Check in on the Big 12 play. Big 12, BYU got their first conference game going over the weekend, and they've now won 10 straight games. They took care of Kansas State, Paul. A game you watched quite a bit of.
I did, 83-73. It was a pretty impressive game all around. They had a lot of contributors, guys chipping in. But A.J. DeBonza has become, I took a look at the scoring leaders across the nation at this point, and at 23.1 points per game, A.J. is the number one scorer in the country right now. A couple guys, Cameron Boozer up there, P.J. Haggerty, who was on Kansas State, averages 23. But DeBonza's got it by 0.1 as the leading scorer in the country.
There's a kid from Tarleton State that's right there as well in the WAC conference.
Yeah.
But
Dior Johnson.
Yeah.
23.1 as well. So really tied for the nation's lead. But he was super impressive once again. I think that BYU basketball, they made the Sweet 16 last year. I think that the floor for this team should be the Sweet 16. I mean, I think they should realistically expect to walk to the second weekend of the tournament. I mean, if they lose in the first or second rounds, it's a massive disappointment for this team because this is the most talented basketball team that BYU's had at some time.
I don't even know why you go to that conversation. I think that's, I mean, obviously the game of basketball, teams can have off nights, and one off night in March can cost you, a Final Four appearance. I get that, but look, we haven't even really revved up conference play yet. We haven't seen BYU play Houston or Iowa State or Arizona or any of these top-tier teams. They're all highly ranked right now.
That's right.
But good win against K-State to start things off on Saturday. They're sitting there at number 10. They've lost just once, and that was the UConn game by 2. A game they trailed by over 20, but came back and almost won. They're 13-1. And I didn't see if they moved up or not. They were 10th in the rankings last time I checked. I didn't see if that came out and changed at all today, but not too many people playing yesterday. I think number 7, Gonzaga, played and won easily yesterday in a West Coast Conference game, but there wasn't a lot of teams in front of them playing, so I don't think that they'll have a chance to move too much. I think they're fairly ranked at 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think it's fine. Do you want BYU to climb and be number 1? Sure, that'd be fun. Arizona is the current number 1 team in the country, correct? They haven't lost.
Yeah, I think you just want to be a 1 seed in the tournament. I don't think you really care about being the overall number 1, but just to try and climb into that 1 seed conversation throughout the season, be in the talks late into the Big 12 season, into Big 12 tournament play. I think that is what you should want as a BYU fan, is to be in the talks for a 1 seed, because a 2 seed looks real plausible right now. But I still think that a 1 seed is what they should be searching for, because at the end of the day, that does give you the easiest path to the Final Four.
Yeah. Your top 10, Arizona, Michigan, Iowa State, UConn, Purdue, Houston, Duke, Gonzaga, BYU, teams like that, all right there. But the Big 12, I mean, Texas Tech's good. There's a couple good Big 12 games tonight. In fact, Paulie, Texas Tech at Houston tonight.
Wow, that's a good one.
Cincinnati at West Virginia. Tomorrow night. These are
tomorrow.
Big Tuesday games.
Super Tuesday.
Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
These are tomorrow night.
Super Tuesday.
BYU doesn't play again until Wednesday. This is a game that'll be nationally televised on NBC Peacock.
Yeah.
Against Arizona State.
Okay. All right.
That'll be on Wednesday. So you're getting into Big 12 play.
Yeah.
And that'll be the next opponent for ASU hosting BYU. And Arizona State so far this year they haven't played a lot of games. I think they're like 9-5 or something.
Yeah, they're not the best this year.
0-1 in the conference.
I watched them play Gonzaga while I was down in Tempe with I didn't go to the game. You were asking me that night if I was at the game, but I didn't go. But I watched it at my buddy's house, and I think Arizona State got routed in that game. So I don't think they're really the most quality opponent to gauge the Big 12 by. But yeah, BYU's going to have some tough ones coming up.
Even the bottom of the Big 12,
yeah,
like their overall records, everybody's got winning records.
Sure.
I mean, Arizona State, Kansas State, West Virginia, Cincinnati. Everybody 9-5. Utah is 8-6. Cincinnati is 8-6. Utah losing their Big 12 opener. And dropping to 8-6. They had a chance against UW up at Washington too, and kind of just couldn't make any plays down the stretch. But we're getting BYU and Utah on the 10th. Okay, so here we go. Let's go. That'll be fun. Is that right? Isn't it the 10th that they play? On the 10th in Salt Lake. It's not in Provo. It's not at the Marriott Center.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. They've got, and look. I mean, they had to play Arizona in their first Big 12 conference game.
That's right.
And they lost 97-78.
Ooh, yeah.
So give Alex Jensen some time. It's his first season up there, but they are 8-6. They're going to win some Big 12 games.
They're going to upset a couple teams.
They got good, speedy guards. I just feel like they're lacking some elite shooters and a true post presence that can really dominate down inside. They just need another recruiting class or two. Get some guys through the program. They'll be fine.
That's right. I
don't think you can expect too much from Utah, but they can play spoiler. You never know.
They could.
8-6 so far.
Yeah.
This year.
There's another team that's really good in the state of Utah, and that's Utah State. They're 12-1, 3-0 in the Mountain West, and made it through the non-conference play with the only load loss was to South Florida on the road. So, a team that's probably got a little more NIL, a little more spending money than you do. And all the games they were supposed to win, VCU, Weber State, UTEP, Tulane, Davidson, Montana State, Charlotte, Illinois State, Colorado State, Fresno, and San Jose. They are on a, 5-game winning streak, and they play Air Force tomorrow. So this has been a solid team in the Mountain West. They have a chance to not only contend for the Mountain West regular season crown, but I think this is a team more equipped to compete in Mountain West tournament play, which they lost last year in a game I was at to Colorado State. And what was the shooter on Colorado State last year? That kid went to the Thunder in the draft. He was really good. Can't remember his name right now. I'm trying to pull it.
I liked him in the draft. I know exactly who you're talking about because I was very high on him. He was a late first-round draft
He was
pick.
a late first-round pick. He was really good. And he shot the lights out against Utah State. And I think Colorado State ended up winning the Mountain West tournament largely because of his output offensively, and they were a great defensive team as well. But Utah State, with
Neat Clifford. Neat Clifford.
That's right.
Is that who you're thinking
Yes.
of? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at 12-1, Coach Calhoun doing a really good job with Utah State this year. First time they've retained a coach.
Yeah.
You got Craig Smith, you got Sprinkle, you got Odom, you got all these guys that have looked for greener pastures. But Calhoun re-ups, signs the deal, continuity in Logan, and they're off to a great 12-1 start, 3-0 in the Mountain West.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Little state of the state in college basketball. A lot of changes in the state of Utah, especially in football.
Yeah.
And it all started with Sherrone Moore getting fired. And now you got all these coaches from BYU and Utah going to Ann Arbor.
Well, I think I reported it preemptively, but Jay Hill did ultimately leave.
Yeah.
I know that it was that we didn't know for a fact.
It wasn't. They had offered it. It wasn't confirmed when we were on the air last Tuesday.
Yeah,
but I think it got confirmed later that day.
And he is on his way to Michigan.
Yeah, glad the state of Utah could help fix Michigan's football team, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Man.
Got a lot of issues.
Kyle Whittingham loads up all his friends and heads to Ann Arbor.
And I think it's a huge blow for BYU, losing Jay Hill, who had really kind of stabilized that defense.
That's debatable because Utah takes a good hit, too. I mean, you lose your offensive coordinator, Jason Beck.
And some other guys.
You lose Coy Detmer Jr.
Fred Whittingham.
You lose your receivers coach. Your recruiting coordinator, Freddie Whittingham.
Yeah.
Your offensive line coach, your defensive ends coach. I mean, that's a good chunk of your staff.
But I think of all those guys, Beck included, Jay Hill is the best assistant he hired of any of them.
Probably have to agree with you there. And Jay Hill did take Gennaro Gifford with him. Guilford, which was his right-hand man and his passing game coordinator on the defensive side of the ball while he was at BYU. So,
yeah, it's crazy. With all the talk of Penn State wanting Kalani and Michigan ultimately getting Whittingham, I guess Utah, the Beehive State's not a big secret anymore for college football coaches.
You're welcome, Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
By the way, Morgan Scalley named Utah State offensive coordinator Kevin McGivern his new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I saw that over the weekend.
He's a good one, an up-and-coming coordinator.
Yeah, I think that's a good progressive hire for Scalley, trying to find guys that can build the program with.
Yep. All right, got to take a break. When we come back, do you still want Mike Tomlin fired? Or did last night's win and him and Rodgers getting into the playoffs save a little face for Steeler Nation? We'll talk about that and what it means. And we'll get you ready for the day in sports. We did the FCS National Championship game tonight. There's some hockey, some Jazz basketball in action tonight. All that when we come back. It is The Drive. Good morning from the Findlay Hyundai Studios. Show today brought to you by Wilkinson's, Jimmy John's, Game Day Men's Health, our friends at St. George Tent Shop and Color Country Custom Coating, and, of course, Coral Canyon Golf Course. Congratulations, by the way, to Zach Feltz, former Crimson Cliffs Mustang, Utah Tech golfer. He now golfs for VCU out in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, Richmond. Yeah.
It was Virginia Commonwealth University. Home for the holidays, and he wins, shot back-to-back 69s. He was down by 2 to Parker Bunn, who was at Oklahoma State, just transferred back to BYU. But Zach goes 3 down to win the Coral Canyon Amateur over the weekend. Good stuff. All right, got to take a break. Back in a flash. It's The Drive. We're back, everybody. It is The Drive. What's going on your Monday? Happy New Year, January the 5th. We rev it up. We're in all week long. We got girls basketball tomorrow. We got Region 9 boys basketball on Wednesday and again on Friday. We got the college football semifinals coming up at the tail end of the week. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 3 days of NFL playoff action, Pauly. And I kind of threw out the question before we went to a break. How much credit does Mike Tomlin deserve? I mean, Mike Tomlin picks up Aaron Rodgers where they didn't have a better option, and they are going to the playoffs. If you just state it like that, how much credit do you think Mike Tomlin deserves? Because I have never heard Steeler Nation so loud about changing head coaches as I have during this season. I have heard from Steeler fan after Steeler fan, I'm ready for change. Fire Tomlin. Let's move on. Let's try somebody new.
I think there's a lot of that sentiment.
And now they're in the playoffs.
But they've been in the playoffs in 2017, 2020, 2021, 2023, and 2024, but lost in either the wild card and divisional round each time, going 0-5 in those games. I think that's why you have a lot of Steelers fans that are through it. You know, they're done with being one game over 500, squeaking in as the last seed or barely winning their division, having a tough first round matchup and getting bounced. And I don't know if that's going to be the script that plays out this year, but I would more likely than not, that's the one I would side with, as I think that they are going to lose to the Texans, and it'll be the same script again. And then Mike Tomlin will be extended, another contract extension for making the playoffs.
You think
or whatever.
so?
I think he'll be extended. I think they love him in Pittsburgh, the front office, the Rooney family. I think they really do like Mike Tomlin. Also, the Steelers love the narrative that they've only ever had 3 head coaches: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. They've only had 3 coaches in the history of their franchise. So they don't just fire and hire coaches left and right like the Browns, who you said had 11 coaches in the last however many years. They don't do that in Pittsburgh. So I think even if he loses, even if the script that I say plays out to a T, I think he's still extended for making the playoffs and, in their mind, over exceeding expectations by winning the division.
You know, they haven't made it on themselves very easy. They battled, though, and, you know, Tomlin went out and they got Rodgers. They go 10-7. They put all their belief in the 4-time MVP at his age, 42 years old. And, you know, he's got the beard is showing the gray as he's smiling last night, facing reporters, and they win the AFC North. And you saw Tomlin at one point kind of pounding his chest as the game went final last night. Rodgers returns to the playoffs for the first time since 2021.
Wow.
He goes 11 of 14 for 133 yards in the fourth quarter, including the go-ahead 26-yard touchdown to Calvin Austin with 55 seconds remaining.
And it is probably one of the better wins of the Tomlin regime in his entire time in Pittsburgh, because without DK Metcalf, like, who were they throwing?
There was no separation.
It was Thielen, it was Scotty Miller, it was Marquez Valdez-Scantling, it was
Freiermuth,
Calvin Austin. Like, none of these guys are starters on most teams, but that was who he was throwing to last night, and he was still able to win. So you got to give Rodgers, Tomlin, and the Steelers credit, because, yes, I think the Ravens were 4.5 point favorites on the road in that game. A lot of people expected Baltimore to win, including me. I said Baltimore would win the North weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it did not happen. The Steelers held them off, win the division.
There was a report that Cam Hayward, who's the longest tenured Steeler, delivered a rousing speech the night before the game.
Yeah.
And he's your defensive captain.
All-pro for a lot of years.
Called on his teammates to channel their frustration of last year's blowout playoff loss to the Ravens and to change their fortune this time around. And they went and did it. And the way the game started, Derrick Henry just was running roughshod over that Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah.
Baltimore looked like the more physical team for most of that first half.
Yeah.
Lamar, that was good Lamar, too. He looked healthy last night. I thought his decision-making was good. His reads, the passes, the deep ball to Zay Flowers, the deep ball to the young receiver Walker, the first score of the game. Like he made some really good plays with his feet as well. I thought they beat a really good Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, has 2 years left on his contract with zero guaranteed money left on his contract. That's an interesting dynamic going into the offseason. What are the questions around Baltimore now?
I think I saw somewhere that he has I'm going to check it. His cap hit next year is insane.
Yeah.
I think it's $74 million. I think it is. Let me check that. I saw it on one of these shows while we were getting ready for the show. And yes, 2026 NFL season, $74.5 million is his
Crazy.
cap hit. I mean, how can you build a team with that cap hit?
Yeah. I mean, but this is what the vision was for Tomlin and the Steelers when they went and got Rodgers. Give us 1 year, let's go to the playoffs, and let's make a run.
Yeah.
And now it's Steelers-Texans, Monday Night Football on ESPN to wrap up the wild card round.
But if they lose, the Steelers, how are they better off? With Russ or with Fields or with Rodgers? They don't have the quarterback of the future. And they're going to be picking in the middle of the draft once again because they're in the playoffs again. They're going to be picking in the teens, low 20s. How do they get a quarterback? I mean, it's the same problem for the Steelers. They can't just keep running retread after retread out there. Rodgers is going to call it quits after this year.
It's not trade. It's not like you can't do what, say, the Seattle Seahawks did, where you trade Geno and DK and then go get Sam Darnold in free agency.
Yes.
You can go get a quarterback in free agency. But good luck getting one that's going to have the season even that Aaron Rodgers
Or
had.
even get one that's Russ and Rodgers' age. Russ is in the twilight of his career. Rodgers, this is the last year probably.
How much credit does Mike Tomlin deserve, though?
He deserves a lot for this game.
I have heard fire Tomlin left and right from
I've heard it
Steeler
too.
fans. Let's move on.
My good
from
friend
him.
Dutch, he's a huge Steeler fan. He's been saying it for years. Fire Tomlin. Fire Tomlin.
Is he still saying it this morning?
He is. He still is. So there's just certain people that believe that no matter what happened in this winner-take-all game, that next week in the playoffs, he's going to flame out like he has the last 6 tries.
But there's 2 teams that nobody believes in to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The
Carolina
Steelers.
Panthers in the NFC and the Steelers in the AFC.
Yes.
The Steelers are 50 to 1 to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
180 to 1 are the Panthers to win the Super Bowl.
That's a little bit higher odds.
Yeah. But after that, I mean, Chicago's 21 to 1. Green Bay's 20 to 1. Chargers are 28 to 1. Even Jacksonville is 13 to 1. San Francisco's 17 to 1 because of the path they have.
Eagles, yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to give Tomlin some credit on a Monday morning.
I will,
and,
yes.
And you got to give Aaron Rodgers some credit. He threw some really good balls, had a big fourth quarter.
Never
and
been a
delivered
Rodgers
win.
guy.
Me
and
neither.
I've made that clear on this show.
But he threw the ball on point last night.
Played well.
He really did.
He did.
And now he gets one more go, an emotional Aaron Rodgers after the game, and we'll see him on Monday night against the Texans. They will be, man, Pittsburgh, did you see the graphic last night when they're home dogs?
Yeah, our Tomlin against the Ravens is like 8-2 straight up in the last 10.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And they will be home dogs again.
Yeah.
Houston is 3-point favorites.
Ooh. Okay.
Yep, 3-point. Right. The only big line really is that Rams-Panthers game.
Yeah.
The Rams are 10-point favorites. Everything else is, under 4-point spread in the rest of the wild card weekend. A couple games are really tight. Bears-Packers is the tightest line. It's Bears by 1 at Soldier Field. All right, got to take our final break. Come back and get you ready for the day in sports here on The Drive. It's the Fan Sports Network. Quick break, and we're back to wrap things up.